going on? This is
Oh,
this is ShanGO Ray,
I'm sorry.
aka Real Deal Ray. This is a very special broadcast. As many of you are about to find out, I've opened the doors for just a few clients. I recently had a client that I did a road opening ritual with. We worked together. I'd like to introduce her. She's a wonderful, wonderful goddess. Her name is Kiana. Kiana, say hello and tell everybody what's going on.
Nice to meet you. Hi, everybody.
Yeah,
Yes, I got not only a road opening, a road closing, which is just as important to me. The
that's
road
true.
closing.
That's true. Hold on, we're having a little technical difficulties
It
here.
was definitely.
When you're speaking, it's kind of going it goes it doesn't show you, but that's probably my stream. It's probably my feed, so I don't know if it might be a little choppy. Sorry out there, folks, but when there's a
I
lot of
can hear you
energy.
perfectly.
Okay, good, now we see you good. Okay, so could you tell everybody what was going on in your life before you decided to contact me?
Well, basically, it was a situation where I'm not new to spiritual work. I'm not new to spirituality, but I felt like I had gone as far as I could go by myself. And I've kind of a plateau, like if you work out and you get to a certain point and you like, I can't go anymore. And so I felt like with my spiritual work, my spiritual journey, that I needed a hand because things were getting to the point where they were just not moving. And I knew they should be. Um, I didn't really know what to do. Reached out to I basically didn't even know what to ask for. Honestly, I didn't know what to ask for. It was just something about his delivery on his deals that let me know that I could actually uh, connect with him, honest,
Hmm.
and I knew that no matter what I said, it wouldn't be anything new to him. If that makes sense.
Yes.
So it was natural for. I don't even know this brother. First of all, I've never met him a day in my life. Like I'm in Florida, he's in California. In California, right?
That's correct.
So never connected physically in my life. It was very familiar about
This
his delivery that
I'm sorry, I'm
I
sorry.
could
You're going
connect
it's
with.
it's getting really, really choppy here. And let me see here. Okay, go ahead. Can you say something? I'm sorry. People, sometimes we have technical difficulties here, especially I don't know what it is about this time of day. I've done other broadcasts and shit just sometimes gets real choppy or whatnot. Could you say something else there for me, Miss Kiana? That way I can just get a test.
What about now? Is this better? Is that more clear?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll take the headphones out. Let's try that.
Oh, that coming in real good. That's coming in real good.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me? You can hear me
Yeah.
clearly?
Beautifully, beautifully. Yes.
So should I start over?
You could just do a real because a lot of that was kind of choppy. Just, I mean, you don't have to go all over it like that. Just like just very, very. What does it call it? A summaryism, shit,
A
whatever.
synopsis.
Yeah,
Okay.
synopsis.
So
Yeah.
basically I had already gone, been on my own spiritual journey, right?
Yes.
But I reached the plateau. I felt like I wasn't moving. I felt like I was at a standstill and that I needed a push. I didn't know what that push was. I didn't know where that push would come from, but I knew me personally, I had met the point where I needed more help. And that's something for me too, because I don't like to ask for help. But spiritually, I know you get to a point where you don't know everything and you gotta, reach out. So I had seen some of your videos on YouTube, and I knew that I could connect with you and it wouldn't be any judgment or anything like that. Your delivery was very honest. So it wasn't really a thought of if I should connect with you. I just didn't know what to ask for, honestly. I didn't know, like, I knew I had reached a plateau, but I didn't know what to ask for. So
I
when I
understand.
contacted you and you were like, you would help me, you knew what I needed, which was at the time not only a road opening, but a road closing, which is what we did first.
Hmm.
So we did the
Yes.
road closing first. Well, you want to jump in before I go into that? Are you?
Well, as some may or may not know, me personally, whenever I do work with a client, Mando is a kind of like an application consultation. And I say application because just because we have a consultation doesn't mean I necessarily got the green light to accept a new client. So I did get the green light to work with Miss Kiana. We and all this was also established too during the consultation. So I was wondering if you could maybe share, your impression of our initial consultation to see, if we could work together and what was needed and things of that nature.
Um, I don't even know if it was a consultation because it was more of just a conversation to me. I
Hmm.
think if it were more of a consultation, maybe it would have been more formal.
Hmm.
But I felt like I was talking to family, so it was just
Yeah.
like, I basically told you what I just said. Like, I feel like I reached a point where I can't go any further by myself, and I
Hmm.
didn't know what I needed. So
Hmm.
you offered. Well, first you took like maybe a day or two, and you thought about it, or you and Spirit, y'all did y'all thing. Y'all had to talk about it and see if it was cool for you to deal with me. So, you came back and you was like, Spirit told you it was cool for you to rock with me, and from there, and you gave me like a huge discount and everything. Like, you really went out of your way to help me, and I felt comfortable. Like, I felt comfortable telling you whatever was going on. Um, and you did something for protection before you did anything.
Hmm.
Whatever my situation was, you felt like I had to be protected from it, which I did.
Hmm.
Um, you did something for protection, and you did a road closing and a road opening.
Hmm.
Now, for protection, I don't know what you did, but it definitely offered that, because when that road closing, it was like a 2 week period. Like, the first week of the road closing was bananas. Like,
Yeah.
shit really hit the fan.
Mhm. As I told you it would, because when you close the door,
Yeah, you did. Because the
there's
thing
a lot.
about it is a lot of times when we need doors closed, we hesitate because of emotional connection or financial connection or business connection. We get scared and we pause when we should really be moving. So that's where I was. And when you did the road closing, sorry, one second. When you did the road closing, that's exactly what happened. It was doors that needed to be closed, that I wasn't strong enough to close myself.
Hmm.
So let me rewind. Before those doors closed, you gave me a bath. It was
You don't have to say what it was. Yeah.
it
Uh-huh.
was a cord cutting bath.
Yes.
And yo, that bath is very powerful. I don't if anybody else gets that bath, I need you to know it's a very powerful bath. because it brings up things that you need to delete from your life before you go to that next level. And
Mhm.
that's what it did, whether it be from family or exes or whatever the case is. Certain things need to be cut before you're able to move on. So first I did that. And that just made me hella emotional. Like I was super emotional. But
Can you I
uh,
wanted to know if you could share, as far as what some of your challenges were specifically in your life, as things manifest in certain ways. So, like, whether it be with the work situation, or
yeah.
whatever, if you could share
um,
with them so
I
they can
call
know
them.
what you were up against.
All right. All right. So I call them monsters. So everybody has these particular things in your life that no matter how strong you are, these are the specific things that can break you down, like your Achilles heel almost. Mine is my mom, and it was work at the time. With my mother, we've always had like a very strained relationship where I felt like she didn't love me or she didn't like me or I had to prove myself to her. Um, and it got to a point where those feelings no longer served me. Not only did they no longer serve me, they hindered me because I felt like there were certain moves that I couldn't make without her approval. And I'm a grown ass woman with a child. But that mother connection, the fact that we never really had it was something that I dealt with for all of my days. So that was something that needed to be cut, just the desire to prove your worth to somebody who should already see it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I've never been a bad. Everything anybody has ever had to say about me, not to, pop my own collar, but has been nothing but good. But I couldn't hear it because anything she said to me was pretty negative.
Hmm.
And it's almost like no matter how many people say, "Yay, Kiana," I couldn't
All it
hear it
takes is
because
that one voice.
yes,
It's her
for that
voice.
negative voice to be your mother is something deep. You know what I'm saying? Psychologically and emotionally, that if you can't hear 10,000 people when one person is the only naysayer, like you gotta move beyond that. So
Can you share with the people, because you are a business owner? Can you
yes.
share with them, kind of like, just, you don't have to get into too specific of details, but can you kind of share with them what was going on at that point too, as far
So
as within your business and stuff?
right. So my second monster is my business. My business. I'm a hairstylist and now a Reiki teacher. Yay. Um, but what was going on in my business is that I was sharing a building with a t-shirt company. The t-shirt company, the men in the t-shirt company were very promiscuous, and they did their thing. They're young men, but we formed like a really tight bond throughout the time we shared that space together. But throughout that time, things got a little rocky because at one point I dated the owner, which was like 2 years ago. And then when I started sharing a space with his brother started having feelings for me, and I returned those feelings, but we never took it past go. We never, crossed that line just out of respect for the business and, his brother. But anyway,
Hmm.
long story short, it's, let me see, I don't want to say too much, but they did not respect my space. There were no boundaries when it came to them and their women. So it got to a point where their women would, even when I'm opening my shop, because we shared a space, they would be there overnight sometimes. And I would wake up, or they would wake up, or I would open the shop and it would be a random ass girl there, like when I'm trying to start business. So the last straw was I was literally waiting on a client, and a butt naked ass girl came through the shop, and I spazzed. You know what I mean? So it
So
was
basically,
disrespect.
basically you was at a point where it's like I have to go. I got to get out.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. I was at a point where I got to go, and I had told the guy, he knew that I was leaving. There was no doubt about it. Like, it was a matter of like 30 days. I'm gonna be out of this space. You can continue to do what you want to do. However, being that I dated the actual owner of the business, he is a Scorpio and an extremely vindictive Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those situations where it's like, okay, since you won't be back with me, if you're going to leave, it's not going to be on your terms, it's going to be on my terms. So it was
Mm-hmm.
a power play.
Mm-hmm.
So that the entire time Shango and I were working together, things kept happening to where I couldn't even control it. So the last straw was the day my rent was due. Not even that my rent was late. It was never late. It was never I never not paid rent. You know what I mean? But the day that my rent was due at 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon, they had literally taken my shop apart and put it outside.
Mm.
However, that was the day of the beginning of the door opening. The beginning of the door opening led me to having my own 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom with the den home that I wanted for me and my son. So not only was I able to just pick up my shit and put it in my new salon, which is attached to my home, I was able to do it in a way that I could never have expected of myself. I never expected myself to be so peaceful, but I was. Like, I clearly understood that everything that had happened, even though they meant it to be really ill and negative and just vile, it was so helpful for me. And I don't think it would have happened in that way had I not contacted you. And I don't think I would have been able to understand it in the way that I did had I not known it was going to happen before it happened because of you.
Namaste. I appreciate you. Yes.
Like,
Well.
I know I skipped over, quite a bit, but the point of it is on the money, like on point, on time when I needed the road to be closed, even though I probably didn't have the strength to do it myself, it was done. And the
Because that
day
can be a
of,
scary. That could be a scary thing sometimes. You know what I mean?
yeah,
To
it
have to
was,
close. Yeah.
especially in business, because this is how I feed my kid.
Right.
So I'm thinking, like, I know I have to leave this place because it's not healthy. It's toxic. Nobody's respecting boundaries.
Hmm.
I know I have to leave this place, but I'm taking too long. It was almost like the universe was like, yo, you taking too long. So these things happened, and I was able to move from that place. And let me rewind. I wanted to have my salon in my home. I wanted just a small salon in my home before any of this ever happened.
Hmm.
So how things happen, it was almost like I spoke it into existence, contacted the homie, he put some shit together, and it worked out. Like
You
the
know,
day
and it's
of.
like the total. When you came to me, it was 2 weeks before the new moon. So
Right,
that first week is when I did a ritual to like close doors and also assist you because you did some things on your end as far as the cord cutting and just shedding the old shit, right?
right,
But
right,
then the following week was the new moon. And yeah, because I remember I started on a Monday for the road closing, started on the next Monday, which was the new moon for the road. So we're talking about a span of like 2 weeks, and all kinds of shit was popping off.
it
And
was like every other day something crazy was happening. Even now, like, it's still happening.
mhm.
And like I said, I'm not foreign to spirituality or spiritual work or anything like that. I just knew that there were certain things that you got to be okay with asking for help. Like, you can't be so prideful that you don't ask for help. And that's where I was at. You know what I mean? So I had done, my shit, but I knew I needed that push. So when I contacted him, he definitely gave me that push. Not only did he give me that, it seems
Well,
like
well,
even now,
I
after
gotta
all of
say
those
something.
things,
I gotta say, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this was very much so like a divine appointment. And I actually learned a lot from my last three clients, and she was one of them. And it's like a divine alignment type thing where even in business, like and I just want people to know, you can actually start to um, speak and attract your divinely appointed clients who it's going to be a win-win-win situation. You know what I mean? As
right,
opposed
right,
to headache ass clients and shit like that, or just people who might not be so mentally or spiritually stable, because there's
yeah,
stuff like that. So it was a dream. I mean, I know it's not always like that. I mean, especially on my end, sometimes depending on what I'm going up against, you know what I'm saying? But you taught me to further specify for myself and refine who my ideal client is, because this is like a prime example. And when it's meant to go together, I mean, the way she contacted me, when she contacted me, um and it was like, and also cosmically the way, because I do like to work with the elements, the moon and stuff like that. Like, I like to time my shit if possible. But
right.
you came at like spot on the right time. And I just want to give you
And
props
I'm a
because
Cancer, like I'm a moon child through and through. So
yeah.
the fact that everything was aligned perfectly, like I can't. There's no. I couldn't have asked for a better first time experience.
Well, thank you.
Like seriously, I couldn't ask for a better experience to the point where, and I know, like he had certain days where he wanted me to check in or whatever, but shit was happening almost like every day to where I would text him like, "Yo, this shit hit the fan," like it's
Yeah.
still happening. So I mean, and when the doors open, understand that it opens totally and completely. So be prepared when you contact this brother because he is the truth. Like,
Thank
if
you.
you're not ready, don't even call. Like, for real.
If they're
Don't
not
waste your
ready,
time because some shit is gonna shift in your life. So if you're not ready, don't waste his time. He's not gonna waste your time because
yeah.
it whatever he's doing, like he told me point for point, sent pics and everything of what he was doing. I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but okay, I trust you. But if you don't have that trust, even just a little bit, have that trust. If you're gonna
That's
contact him, don't bullshit. Don't be contacting him because he all got his shirt off and shit, be licking his lips. Contact him like when you ready for some real
ah
shit to move in your life
yes,
because
yeah.
he's ready. Like he understands and he knows what he's doing. You know what I
Thank you.
mean? So
Thank you. I'm just glad that you. Oh, and as we started working together right after, I don't know if you want to share. You don't have to give specifics, but and this is still in the air, so we're still kind of like whatever. But just as a synchronistic wink from the universe, do you mind sharing? If you don't want to share, that's fine. If you don't
the
want to, like,
BET thing.
yeah, I say, yeah,
So yeah, this was like within the ending of the first week of us working together. I got an email from what do you call it, the marketing department at BET, and they wanted me to do a interview to be a
like a
host
hostess. Hmm.
BET Awards, a hostess for the BET Awards this upcoming June 20, I think 4th through 27th. So I went through the interview, I got selected, and we exchanged the emails and everything that was supposed to go through it. And this is one of those things that I know he's hesitant for me to be talking about it because I'm hesitant to talk about it. I'm hesitant to talk about it because I still don't know if it's 100% real because it's so dope. Like it's one of those things that even I never even imagined that would happen. But again, with the doors opening, you have to be ready for anything.
And be
And
willing to let and be willing to check everything out that comes to you, because sometimes we can be so pessimistic we cut our shit off before we even get started, you know what I mean? So you have to have that open mind, but still be cautious, but still have that open mind. And
yeah,
that's
it's one of those things where it's like, even though I want to get like super duper excited about scams and all that, and I'm not. I wasn't looking for it. It was just via social media. So if it works, you guys will be seeing me again on BT. But if it doesn't work out, even though it didn't work out, it would be a great experience to have during this process because it allowed me to know that it's not just your immediate situations that you're looking at, it's situations to come. Because you don't want to just contact somebody to do spiritual work for right now. You have to look forward to what's going to happen in the future. You know what I mean?
right. And with the road opening, that's exactly what it is. It's like, if you can imagine an open road, you are still the one that has to go down it, and she's been, you know, putting that one foot in front of the other, like, so if you do get a road opening type from anybody, mind you, that type of, or if you do it for yourself, just know that, yes, you got to know and trust that your roads are going to be open, but you still have to put one foot in front of the other and go down that road, or and
Right.
yeah. So um, let me see
Honest,
if I could.
you
Let me
gotta
see
be
if I.
honest because
Let me see if
it's
I can find any. See if there's any questions or something. I can't even say. Yeah, we're still trying to get the hang of this whole Google Hangout shit. So I have no way of seeing any comments. So if you have been commenting, please know that I do love you, but I cannot see you. So yeah, group chat. Yeah, I don't think there's any comments. So
this is our first time doing it, so I don't know how that would work.
yeah.
I don't know if you would have
Um,
to answer the questions after we hang up.
yeah, most like I don't know. Yeah, you can email me questions about that. But yes, but I wanted to thank you for taking time out your day. Matter of fact, she's moving right now, and usually when
Yeah,
you
I'm
say it,
literally in the middle of moving right now. We've been working on this for like 2 hours.
mhm.
I'm moving 2 to 3 bedroom, 2 bath that I told y'all about before. Like I'm literally in the process of moving there
And you know what?
today. So
I just
it's
wanted to
still, and I hate moving, but I love moving.
she felt she needed also a place. She was like, when we were actually having the consultation, she said, I need to move. My business is like my main priority, obviously, because that's like what waters me and my child. So like I need the water to keep flowing, but I also want to like move out of where I'm at living wise too, because I felt like she felt like she was getting double whammied, at home and at
Yeah, that's
work.
why I
So
talk like my two monsters. Those were my two monsters in my life. If there were things that, stress you out or give you anxiety or keep you up, those were the two things. And those are the two things that are out my fucking way right now. So
but I wanted to say though, the way that you don't have to get into specifics about all that behind the house and everything. However, though it came to her through a conversation, and she took action after that conversation and
right.
was proactive with it. And I mean, we actually checked in before she did that, and I was just like, I already knew too. I was like, yo, that's part of your green light. Like, you got this. There's no need for
Right.
you ain't
And
gonna
see,
worry
that's
about
the
shit.
thing.
Yeah.
I asked him before, like when we were doing the initial consultation, and he was pulling the cards, and I asked him when would I be moving, and the answer was not what I wanted to hear. He didn't
Thank
tell
you.
me
Thank you for
like
saying this. Yeah.
winter. Like I'm like, oh no, that's not what I want to hear. And he told me straight up, like, but that can be adjusted. You know what I mean? That can be changed, and that's the beautiful part of it because I did not know that.
Hmm.
So it just so happened. Now, before I contacted him, I had already had 3 deaths in my family within 1 month. The first death was from my aunt. My aunt Emma passed away. When my aunt Emma passed away, she gave her house to her daughter. Her daughter already has a house. So her daughter put her house for rent. I am now renting that house. The house, I'm renting the house for a fraction, especially in Tampa, Florida, in a suburban part of Tampa, Florida. I'm renting a house for a fraction of what anybody would have ever had to pay. And that's one of the things that, again, this isn't a joke. Like, if you're ready to like get off your ass and work for it, and make those moves, and not just assume that it's gonna come without you putting some type of movement behind it, some type of energy behind it.
Right.
Don't think it's gonna happen like that, because when I contacted him, understand I had already done a significant amount of work on myself, so I
Hmm.
I kind of knew that he would be the person to make shit move. I just didn't know how, and I didn't know what he did. In 2 weeks. In two
Ancient, ancient Chinese secret. But
in
yes.
2 weeks. And
Well,
everything that I wanted is like, yo, I can't thank you enough. Like, everything I wanted, everything I was, fighting for in 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks. Yeah.
That's
Well,
how it
like you
happened.
said,
My story. Like, I
I,
can't.
you were doing a lot of inner work before. So I feel that was part of the alignment as far as you and I go and us working together. You know what I mean? That's also what made things a whole lot more efficient. And I would say smoother, but you were having bumps during those 2 weeks, but I was able to be like, and it was an
But the
honor.
bumps were necessary.
True that.
The bumps were necessary, and
True that.
that's the thing. That's the part that I'm gonna have to take credit on, because I would have spazzed out had I not done the work before, because
Right.
those bumps were some hellified bumps.
Yeah.
But I think I kind of put myself in a place of alignment before contacting him, which probably led me to contacting him. So
That's
when the
what led.
bumps
Yeah.
happened, I didn't spaz out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When a bump
Yeah.
happened, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm like that girl that can go from being professional to I'm dragging you down the street. And any other time, I believe that's where I would have gone in those situations, but I didn't. There is a certain piece that I have now that I didn't have before.
Hmm.
And he explained what was gonna happen before it happened. So you get the heads up. It's up to you to, how you deal with it.
Hmm. Yeah. It's up to
You
the
know?
individual to do the alchemy and transform, even if it's just transforming the way they look at it or the way they feel about whatever the situation is, because that's going to
Perception,
determine.
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's going to determine how you either react or how you respond. So
Right.
I give all props to her. Like I said, she was ready. And, from here on out, as far as what we're going to be doing, offering clients, like, um, that's pretty much along. Like, that's this application process has even got even slimmer, folks. So, and my
Look,
experiences
I
here,
probably set the bar a little high. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm
she did.
sorry.
She did. She did. Everything was just ready. And I just knew it. Like, this is for me to do. This is for me. I shall take the case. So like, that's pretty much how it's gonna. I know exactly what kind of client I want to work with, and you know what? I want to win, and I win when you win. That's how I win. So I want the win-win-win situation. That's what I'm going for. It's just like almost like a lawyer or like a high profile lawyer or something's not going to take a case that they know they're going to
Hold
lose.
on.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
hear you talking, and I know they hear you, but I can't hear you right now. Let me try
Oh,
with my headphones on.
all right. Might be the stream. But Miss Kiana, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How about now? No.
Okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, yes. I wanted to thank you for joining me today and sharing, your story, just your experience, the truth of your experience of us working together in this capacity. And is there any last thing that you'd like to share with anybody before we conclude today?
Um, I don't know if there's anything I want to share, but I mean, working with, if you're considering working with ShanGO, go ahead, but only if you're serious. And I say
Hmm.
that this is the protective cancer in me. Like
Hmm.
I feel protective over this brother already. But don't be playing. Like if you are ready and you got
Oh,
your
I'm gonna
intentions
see.
are good,
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see what from a mile away.
right?
So it ain't gonna
If
matter.
you're,
Like I'll be like curve,
yeah,
yeah, or even, sometimes
right,
spirit has
right,
told me, just don't deal with it, and I'm like, but why? And
yeah.
I didn't even go that far. I just said, all right, you
Yeah,
know,
because you told me straight up, like he gotta consult the spirit to see if it work with me. And I was like, okay. Like I don't know what the spirit is gonna tell
hmm
him.
yeah,
But luckily I don't know what it was about me that allowed it to work
I
out,
got the
but it
green.
works out.
Yeah,
So if you're serious about it, then by all means
and now you're
contact
getting
him,
choppy again with
pay
them
what
damn
he
headphones.
him. Huh?
Now you're getting choppy with them headphones. Your sound. But anyhow, we're going to conclude.
Better.
I want to thank Miss Kiana for being here, sharing just her experience. Because sometimes people like to know what's it like, and not all results are a. This is kind of a atypical thing because she's an atypical woman. So we're going to be going now. So if you're an atypical client, come on through. And we'll see if we can work together. It is an
Especially
app.
if you're a client who already is in some, if you're a client who already has
Some spiritual awareness, some,
that space and you just feel like you need that push, let them know, call them, do whatever, contact them. I don't even
okay.
remember how I contacted him now that I think about it. But
Mm.
contact him because he can help you. He's the truth. Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. I want to wish you a good evening and have fun moving. I know moving
Thank
sucks,
you.
but in this case, it's probably a labor of love right now, right?
Absolutely. You need to have some of them gods and goddesses come help me move some of them
Yeah.
shit. So, but no, thank you. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Much love, goddess.